This right here, this question is the whole ballgame. We're about to unpack how a tiny flaw born at the very beginning of mobile tech still puts billions of us at risk, and you'll see why the modern fixes, well, they might not be the fix we were hoping for.
So, to really get a grip on the dangers we're facing today, we have to jump in a time machine. We got to go all the way back to the beginning, to the foundation of the world's mobile network, and uncover its original sin.
Okay, so say hello to SS7. The easiest way to think about it is like the central nervous system for all the world's phone networks. It was cooked up back in the 80s, and for a long, long time, it was the protocol that told your text where to go and connected your calls across continents. It was the whole shebang.
And this quote, this tells you everything you need to know. This is the source of the problem. SS7 wasn't built for a world with billions of cell phones and countless apps. Nope. It was designed for maybe a dozen big state-owned telephone companies who all knew each other. It was basically a handshake deal, a gentleman's agreement, just written down in computer code.
So because everyone in this club trusted each other implicitly, nobody even thought to build locks for the doors. There's no real authentication to prove who you are, and there's certainly no encryption. The system just trusts that any message it gets is legit. And that one assumption, that blind trust, is the ghost that's been rattling around in the system ever since.
So how does a dusty old protocol from the 80s become a weapon for cyber criminals right now? Let's get into it and see how this old ghost has learned some pretty terrifying new tricks.
So if an attacker can get access to the SS7 network, which, by the way, they can rent or hack into, they can do two main things. First, they can just ask the network, hey, where's this phone number? And the network will just tell them. It'll pinpoint your location. Second, and this is the scary one, they can tell your phone company to forward all your incoming calls and texts straight to them. The way it works is just disturbingly simple. The bad guy sends a message to your phone's home network that basically says, hey, I'm a trusted partner network, and this user is currently roaming over here with me. Just forward all their stuff my way. And because of that original sin of blind trust, your network just says, okay, and does it. No questions asked. It's a digital wiretap with no wires.
Now, this is not a drill. This isn't theoretical. Back in 2017, criminals used this exact trick to snatch two-factor authentication codes sent by text and emptied people's bank accounts in Germany. It happened again in the UK in 2019. And right now, as we speak, these exploit kits are being sold on the dark web.
And for how much? For as little as $5,000. That's it. For $5,000, a criminal can buy a toolkit that gives them the power to track phones in real time and intercept text messages. This isn't just for governments and spies anymore. It's on the open market for criminals.
All right, I know what you're probably thinking. Okay, fine, that's old 2G and 3G stuff. We're on 4G and 5G now. Surely our modern networks have fixed this, right? Well, let's take a look at the supposed solution.
The protocol meant to replace SS7 is called Diameter, and it was designed from the ground up to be way more secure, with all the modern bells and whistles like encryption. On paper, it was the hero we were all waiting for. But what about in the real world? The reality is, frankly, it's jaw-dropping. Security audits of live operational 4G networks show that 90%, 90, are vulnerable to leaking your private info. A full 100%, every single network they tested is vulnerable to attacks that can just shut your phone's service off completely. So why? What's going on? It's because even when you have a better tool like Diameter, a lot of the network operators just don't set it up correctly. They misconfigure the security, or they just fall back on that same old broken model of trusting everyone. They built a brand new house, but they built it on that same foundation of sand. But here's the kicker. It actually gets worse. The biggest problem with the new protocol isn't just its own flaws, it's how it can be weaponized to open a door to all the old attacks.
This is what's known as the downgrade attack. An attacker on a 4G or 5G network can send a specific malicious command that tells your shiny new smartphone, hey, drop that fast 5G connection and connect to this old 3G network over here. And the second your phone does that, boom, you're right back in SS7 territory and you are wide open to every single one of those old school exploits we just talked about.
So, let's put it all together. Let's connect these dots.
what does all this technical jargon really mean for you, for this security stuff you rely on every single day?
It means this. It means that any security system that depends on sending a code to your phone as a plain old text message is built on that same foundation of sand. It is, to put it bluntly, fundamentally insecure.
Let's just walk through the chain of failure one more time. The basic trust model of the network is broken. That allows for the old SS7 attacks to reliably intercept texts. The new Diameter protocol has a backdoor that lets attackers force your phone back onto those old vulnerable networks. The conclusion is just inescapable. Any text message you receive can be intercepted. And that makes any security code you get from your bank or your email or your social media dangerously unreliable.
And hey, this isn't just some hot take. Don't just take my word for it. Official government bodies like the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, are now formally, publicly, recommending that everyone, people, companies, you name it, move away from using SMS for their multi-factor authentication. The writing is on the wall, in big, bold letters.
So I'll leave you with a final thought, a final question for you to chew on. Now that you know that the very network your phone depends on is built on a foundation of sand, what are you building on top of it? It might be a really good time to start looking for some more solid ground.